Hey, this is Mark Menendez, Elite Series Bassmaster here. It's springtime, and it's time to go fishing. And one of my favorite ways to fish is with a crankbait. Your job as a crankbait angler is to make sure you choose a bait that will dive deep enough to maintain bottom contact. If it's not on the bottom, you have to put some action in it. So just go ahead and choose a bait that gets down to the bottom. Crankbaits mimic several different things this time of year, crayfish being the #1 thing that bass are looking for early in the spring. It's a good meal, it's got lots of protein in it, and those big fish really like to eat the crayfish. So two of my favorite baits in the springtime, we're basically looking at shallow water areas. We're looking at main lake points, rocky banks, things like that. Two of my favorites, one is the bait that Kevin Van Dam just won the Bassmasters Classic on. This is a 2.5, a KVD 2.5. This is a 4 to 6 foot diver. Gets down on the bottom, causes a lot of erratic action, and will bounce off the cover and cause that deflection. How many times have you been cranking a crankbait and it bounces across the bottom and it does something crazy, and the next thing you know, you've got a fish on it? That's your job, is to make sure you keep it on the bottom and make it bounce off the cover. This square bill design is one that has a good wide wobble to it and the ability to deflect off of cover. My second choice is a little smaller bait. This is a Strike King Series 3. This bait dives down in the 6 to 8 foot range and has a basic shape of a thumb for its bill. This bait will deflect off of rock, wood, gravel, anything that's down there in that zone, and it is the basic 3-inch size of most of our crayfish. Comes in lots of different colors. In the springtime, I generally tend to use lots of bright colors, chartreuses, real bright orange colors like the crayfish model, so that fish can see them. Water temperatures are always going to be rising this time of year, so your speed that you're going to be cranking your bait will be dictated by the water temperature. The colder the water temperature, the slower I tend to retrieve my lures. I'll use a 5.4 to 1 loose casting reel to ensure that I have a slow gear ratio in the spring. As water temperatures rise, then that becomes less critical. Always keep that bait on the bottom. Always keep that bait deflecting off cover. Your Strike King baits will get you a lot of bites in the springtime cranking.